how do you see the yoga as seen in the world?
You were saying many times that many things that came from your dreams.
This is where you find the answers to life, because life is the illusion, love is the dream. The Aboriginal shamans knew that the answers to life were in the dream.
Last year in one of your classes, you were telling that we have the same composition from the stars.
This is a psychic Native American shaman thing. You know that you've eaten a violated animal. And right now we're thinking about creating chair yoga because there's a lot of people that can't get up, like my mother. The Chinese people are depressed.
His atmosphere that came out from this lift elevator or
I have a couple things to say to the people that are listening. One is breathe like a tiger. 2, stop poisoning yourself on all levels. 3, because I still believe it won't work for me, but perhaps my beliefs are wrong. And as Jose had to learn how to cook for me too. It was like very challenging for a gourmet chef to learn how to deal with my allergies.
Wow.
And as we were able to expand on the food, I could eat and not hurt. That was amazing. And then the foods that I knew I couldn't eat, like fruit. Can't eat fruit because it triggered my thyroid disease. And then I started being able to eat fruit and it felt really good. It didn't trigger my thyroid. My thyroid disease disappeared.
Wow.
Gone. The epilepsy I had handled years earlier through the yoga and through the breathing and also through other ceremonial work. But this was really amazing what was going on with my ability to absorb food and be open to it. Instead of being always nervous, like, okay, I'm going to eat this food and it's going to put me in pain for a couple of hours. That wasn't happening. And what did happen, which was so strange and so wondrous and devastating all at once, is what started to happen is I could see, as a shaman sees, I could see this black coal dust starting to seep out of my skin. And I knew that this is something really important. And it took me a while to recognize that this was the anguish and suffering of the animals coming out. And then what that did is it put me at a crossroads to recognize when I set myself up again to perpetuate my own anguish and suffering. So once again, I was at a massive changing point of having to shift the way that I was perceiving my world and the way that I was operating in my world that set me up for suffering.
So what Anna's talking about here is Native American shamans. When you eat a violated animal, Native Americans eat animals. However, before they hunt, there had to be prayers, there had to be preparation, and when they gathered the animal, they prayed for it and invited the spirit of the animal to be part of themselves. So that's proper preparation before eating an animal. When you eat a violated animal, an animal that there's no prayers, no nothing, like factory farming. Factory farming is just mass production. Then they, just before they're killed, they put their adrenaline into the meat, and then that is passed over into the person eating. And then you've got cancers, disease, and all sorts of things that the animals, violated animals, are passing on. So when you see the black coal dust, this is a psychic Native American shaman thing, you know that you've eaten a violated animal, an animal that hasn't been prayed over. So that's what she's talking about.
One of the tools that helped me heal my bulimia was learning how to pray over my food and to ask the life force of that food, that broccoli or whatever I was eating, to align with me in a good way and in a healing way.
Really?
And I pray over my food
Talking
every
to
day.
the food?
Talking to the food.
Healed you.
Yeah.
Well, it's more than that. It's aligning. One was a prayer over it, like asking that food, the spirit of that food, to align with me in a good way. but then I would also put my hands on either side of it and get my energy running through it to help it literally align with me. But then I would also add in my prayers for the world, and I connect in my prayers over my food to earth, sky, fire, water, stars, sun, moon, the spirits of the plants, of the insects, of the birds, of the animals, the supernaturals, the sacred ones. I ask and connect to them every time I eat. And that's part of my spiritual path. And it makes me focus on this food as a gift.
Yes.
And to honor that. Yeah. And be respectful of that, and be respectful of what I bring in to this magical thing called a body. I mean, we think of like, oh, just the body. It's like, you don't know anything about your body. Yeah. And it's a mystical being that you get to live in.
So Khalil Gibran, who wrote the greatest book of all time called The Prophet, I'm not sure if your audience knows it, but it is the greatest book of all time. It's the second biggest selling book of all time after the Bible. A Lebanese mystic called Khalil Gibran. Greatest book ever written, called The Prophet. Everyone should read it. And he said that a bitter man will bake a bitter loaf of bread. So when you're cooking or doing something, always cook and always have the intention of love. So this is why we pray over food, because sometimes whoever's preparing our food, it could be a violated animal, it could be an angry chef, it could be someone that's upset. Those vibrations pass on to the food that we're eating. So Gibran always said, pray over your food and just know that when you cook, always be in a state of love and pass that love on to all the people that eat.
When Jose cooks for us, and I'm his sous chef, I get to help. He's really focused on putting this good energy in. Besides just chopping vegetables and getting the timing and putting in these healing herbs like turmeric and cumin and rosemary and all these wonderful little spice people, he's focused on making this a healing meal for each of us.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful energy to bring, and all it takes is a shift
to
of
be in
focus.
the present
Of
the food.
Instead of like complaining and having a fight with somebody in your head while you're cooking.
Cooking like seeing news or
Focus.
sending the energy properly.
Angry
right?
chef making angry food. I hate my job.
And you are then eating it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel something, and you are the spirit inside, like,
Yes. Yeah.
I would like to ask, honoring this moment, having you here to share, how do you see the yoga scene in the world, and how do you have seen the evolution? And knowing and sharing a lot of yoga teachers, some of the best teachers of the world, how do you see yoga and this evolution since 75 till now?
I've seen yoga go through a lot of waves. Like when the Beatles were doing yoga and meditation and stuff, that was a wave. Or when people like Sting or Madonna is doing yoga, that brought the interest of it again. And it's gone through many waves. And since 2020, a lot of the yoga businesses got destroyed by all the lockdowns and the disasters that was happening at that time. And what we've observed since that time is people are more disconnected than ever. And they're also more apathetic, like their dreams and hopes have been destroyed. And so part of our work is to reawaken that. And if they come to us, if they come to our forest yoga teachers, that will help them reawaken their desire to really live. So what can yoga do for the future? It can really help the evolution of the humanity, which will then also spread out with helping the earth heal from human foolishness and the animals be able to live on this planet as the earthlings and as the beings of spirit that they are.
Yeah, Anna and I have a very good perspective of yoga right across the world. The reason is we deal firstly in business with yoga studios in over 30 countries. Then we visit these countries, so we get to see what yoga's like in Russia, what yoga's like in China, what yoga's like in Africa, Europe, New Zealand, etc., etc. Now, the majority of yoga students all over the world are from beginner to intermediate. The advanced is this much. It's very little, the advanced student. So Anna and I are creating a system where you can have beginner, intermediate, and advanced all in the same class without saying this is an advanced class. Because over the years, Anna's created different down levels for each system. So I think it's very, very, and right now we're thinking about creating chair yoga because there's a lot of people that can't get up, like my mother. My mother is 90 years old and she can't get up. So creating something, some movement for people that can't move. Yoga has a big future because the majority of people we know are eating the wrong food, they're out of shape, they can't touch their toes, they can't even get near their knees, let alone touch their toes. So we have a lot to do, and we have an understanding of yoga globally. Other yoga teachers are only in one city. Anna and I are universal, so we get to experience, and we get to also see how business goes. After 2020, we got to see studios in Russia and China plummet, and they contacted us, and we helped the studios in Russia. We created online classes for Russian. We broke the record for the biggest yoga class ever. The people from Beijing wrote to me and said, Jose, the yoga studio is going broke. The Chinese people are depressed, and all this vaccination and all this horrible overreach. I call this government overreach. Too much government is a bad thing. It is not a good thing. Government, religion, politics, all dogma should be avoided for true yoga students. So with Beijing in severe depression, the owners of the Beijing studio, that was Yogi Yoga, we created a class to treat anxiety and depression, and there was something like 350,000 participants.
What?
So this was the biggest.
Online, we did it online.
Oh, wow. I was thinking this was a big
350
stadium, right?
Well, that's the only way you're going to reach 350,000 people online. So at the time, we were in the middle of a training. And I said to Anna, we should do this, we should do this. So at the end of the training, we just jumped on and put together an amazing 30-minute class, I think, 40 minutes.
Hour, wasn't it?
And it was an anxiety class. We got it online. We may send it to you. If you've ever got anxiety, here you go.
I will do that.
And that was the biggest class Anna and I have ever taught, 350,000 people in China.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You know that? Wow. I'm learning a lot. So
we know this business well because we're dealing with the four corners of we've got the view from the mountain. People who are just in one city are down in the valley. We're up on the mountain. And that's the difference.
Yes, like an eagle.
I like that. Like an eagle.
Definitely eagle's eye view. And we're hoping, Jordi, to be able to come and really bring forest yoga all through Spain, because Spain for me is a relatively new place to be here, and it's only been to you and your business that we've come here, and it's like people are very receptive to our work, and they need it. They really need it. So it's like, let's do more, man.
Yes.
And then you have to come to the class. Yes, I'd love to.
Because we have many studios in Madrid, and people from all around Spain, when I do trainings in Madrid, they come. So we can do Barcelona and Madrid.
Oh, that'd
Yeah.
be amazing. I keep telling Anna how wonderful Madrid is, and we should catch some flamenco shows there.
Yes, I want to see the flamenco dances.
Flamenco
I love
is.
flamenco.
Here's the thing about Spain: flamenco is our favourite art form. Maybe Aboriginal is there, some good classical Indian stuff, and some really good African stuff. But flamenco is right there at the top of the tree. Now, one thing that people don't know about me is I was one of the godfathers of flamenco in Australia.
What?
So in Australia, there was no flamenco. And all of a sudden I had Antonio Vargas, a flamenco master, come out, and we had to train Australian people around the master, Antonio, and eventually we got a big yoga scene, a big flamenco scene happening in Melbourne and in Sydney.
Wow.
And then I went off on my own and I created a show called Flamenco Dreaming, which was Spanish gypsies, Aboriginal people together. And the show blew people's minds. And then we came to Barcelona at the convention center and did Flamenco Dreaming at a big corporate event with 30 flamenco dancers.
Wow.
And one of the flamenco dancers I brought to Geordie's studio last year.
Yeah, she was part of that, Raquel.
Yeah, she was part of that and she joined us. So there's another thing. Flamenco and me have a big connection. And I had some record-breaking shows, record-breaking shows called Antipodes. I don't know if you know this, but Australia and Spain is antipodes. You know
So the
antipodes?
opposite. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So if you go straight up,
You make a hole.
Australia, Spain. So we are good connection with your country.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, I wrote it that you were living a dream because everything that you were saying, I was pointing, you were saying many times that many things that came from your dreams.
Yes.
So you manifest a lot
Everything.
because you were saying that you were waiting him, his atmosphere that came out from this lift elevator or
She dreamed in the mountain.
yes.
She was.
Yeah.
And part of the Aborigine philosophy that dreams are.
Yeah, it's building the reality because
this is where you find the answers to life. Because life is the illusion, love is the dream. So everything's back to front. So what the shamans begun doing is they begun entering dreams consciously. So when we're asleep, we can remember a little bit of the dream, just a little bit of the dream. But what the Aboriginal shamans knew that the answers to life were in the dream. And how they knew that is they would have a dream and the dream would come true. So if a dream comes true, you think, well, how did that happen? How come I can fly in a dream? A dream has no limits, no boundaries, no nothing. So maybe I could discover the meaning to life in the dreams. And I don't mean like anxiety dreams and worry dreams. A lot of people have these dreams of jealousy, anger, hatred. They take that into the dream world. But the shamans were able to dream walk. And a dream walker is someone who knows they're in a dream. And then
lucid dream, right?
a dream walker. And then we've learned how to do fire. We learned the astrology of the stars. We learned the animals' secrets. We learned to connect to the sixth sense, all through the dreaming. And the dreaming, you'll see all Aboriginal spirits in painting, and they're called the Mimi spirits. And the Mimi spirits are the helpers of humanity gain the evolution and the awakening. So the woman who married Anna and I, she is the most amazing psychic and healer you will ever meet in a life. Her name is Kathy Marika. She's as black as the night. She has silver hair down to almost her knees. And when people see her, they're scared of her because they know that shaman.
She reads everything, right?
I'm not going to fuck around with this shaman.
She has the most interesting eyes because they have like starlight in them.
Wow.
I'll email you a picture of this one.
Exactly, to use it.
And that's knowledge.
Now that you're talking about star, last year in one of your classes, you were telling that we have the same composition from the stars.
Exactly.
How that talks about the potential of us.
Yeah. So if anyone can do this, just go to Google and look at the ingredients of the stars. The Aboriginal people say we came from the stars and we'll return to the stars. What that means is that once we die, we become ashes. And the Earth is a dead star.
Exactly.
The Earth is a dead star. The sun is a star. Stardust has 6 ingredients in it. Just look it up, look up the 6 ingredients, and then look up the 6 ingredients of humans. But look up the 6 ingredients of a river. Look up the 6 ingredients of animals. Everything has the same 6 ingredients, except in different denominations, in different portions. So when Anna created the abdominal star spiral pulse, she said this is a celebration or to turn the stardust particles in our body. And I said, wow, that's an Aboriginal thing. We came from the stars, we returned to the stars. So we are made up of star dust, our body.
And so in this star spiral pulse, which is a variation of elbow to knee, what I was working with when I was creating that was I was leaching all the toxicity of my life out of my bones, but I was actually weakening my bones because it was like those things were holding my bones together. And I thought, well, what do I want in here instead? And I absolutely love the stars. Like when my soul goes free, I go flying out into the stars and the star fields. And so what I started working with and really doing this is lighting up the star particles in my bones. And that brought a whole nother revolution happening so far as my own healing and my own cellular regeneration, because it was regenerating from starlight. And I could light up and can light up my bones. And it's very exciting, but it takes a lot of concentration. And I don't always get it, and I don't always do it. But there are times when like, I need that, I want that. Yeah. And when I do it, it's like a exhilarating, amazing feeling.
I can tell you, Anna, at her age, she has an amazing practice.
Yes,
as Dharma Mitra,
I saw it.
I
saw the legs over there.
Blows your mind.
Making ups for, I said, next one, I'm done. Okay. Move the leg over there. Leg what? I cannot move. Yeah.
Now,
I was impressed.
We are much, much fitter than our students. When we do an advanced teacher training, no one can stay with Anna and I. There is a couple, Ambra.
No, but
Julia.
I was so impressed.
But what we do is during an advanced teacher training, Anna and I will practice for 3.5 hours, 4 hours. Then we'll do the class again with the students 3.5 hours and 4 hours.
Teaching from 9 to
and we teach all day long.
To 6 at night.
Practice and
also, if you throw in that I also do play piano, play guitar, play drums, storytell, narrate, and then
on
top of that, people can't match the energy that Anna and I have. So it's not age. It's we have the correct mindset as well. So people half our age can't stay with us.
We feed on starlight.
Yes.
Yes.
The real
starlight feed.
The evolution.
Yes, this one, the label of the...
It is. I mean, that is how we designed Forest Yoga.
Yeah.
It is to help people heal and help people evolve.
Yeah. The other day, on Saturday, we woke up at like 4 a.m. and we got home at 6 p.m. doing 2 classes in the day. That's That's 14 hours that we were up. And never did we allow the energy even to slip for a moment. We just keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
So when people say like, oh, I've just turned 40 and my life is this and I'm too old to do that. It's just like, you need to get rid of that horse shit in your head. That's a complete lie that you believe, and therefore you make it happen. So to have a different paradigm. Look at us.
When discipline and hard work became the usual thing, that's when you real change your life and evolution.
And you live. And you start living.
Yes, we bring these planets just as a symbol of the paradise bird.
Bird of paradise.
Bird of paradise.
Yes, I created a pose called Bird of Paradise.
Oh.
It seems like the colibri, and how important the colibri, for example, it's a bird that can fly back. It's the only one that can fly
Backwards.
Backwards.
Hummingbird flies backward.
Yes.
Yes.
Goes fast. He can stay,
The hummingbird.
and his colors are fluorescent.
Yeah.
And the speed.
Yeah, speed. And during the night, they stop completely. They have the calm to disconnect, so have energy for next day. And that makes me remember in the
Their life.
the other day, Jose and Ana make me go out and dance the animals. No? Yes. So in yoga we do a lot of animals poses. And what the consciousness of the animals can help us in our life.
Correctly. As I said, and I always say, that the animals were the teachers. The animals know how to survive. The animals know where to find food. The animals are plugged into the great system, and we weren't. So we had to look at the animals for survival. And even to this day, Anna and I, we have so many poses named after birds.
Yeah.
You know, Brolga, especially the Brolga.
Cassowary, kite hawk.
So we would look at the bird and go, oh, it's standing on one leg in the water. Why? And we would ask why? And it's standing on one leg in the water because as the fish come by, if they just see one leg, they don't know it's an animal. So they will swim close and the bird will eat it. So there's a reason behind everything. And the birds were also singers. They taught us how to sing. We looked at the animals. The first dancing all came from doing animal movements.
In forest yoga, the way that I teach breathing, I learned from a tiger. So I was at a wilderness rehabilitation center, and there's a tiger there in this big enclosure, and I was hanging out right by the fence, and the tiger was hanging out right by the fence. And though I wasn't supposed to do this, but I did it anyways, I reached in, started to scratch the tiger underneath his big soup plate head. He had a head that was so big. And he just kept leaning into it, and my hand got flattened into the floor, and I'm still scratching. And he started to purr. I didn't even know tigers purred. And it was amazing. And it was like, I want to be like this tiger. And that's my main medicine animal is tiger. And, you know, he was like relaxed and beautiful and sexy and powerful and deadly. It's like,
Everything in one.
Yes. And so I started watching how this guy was breathing, this tiger, and how he breathed with his whole rib cage. And I started matching my breathing to him. And we had this connection through breath where I felt like I started to commune with this tiger. And he's purring away, and I'm scratching him. And there's this powerful thing, and I've brought that way of breathing to thousands and thousands of people. And it gives them power, it gives them courage, and it begins to help them find their beauty.
It's really funny. Another medicine animal or a medicine nemesis for Anna was the shark. So she always had dreams that she's going to get eaten by a shark. She's going to get eaten by a shark, getting eaten by... And then she was coming to Australian beaches, and you know, Australian beaches, sharks. And anyway, I took it to the beach.
I don't want to be there.
You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. I took it to the beach, Cronulla Beach, in Sydney, and Anna said, oh, there's no sharks here. I said, nah. I said, the shark alarm at Cronulla had not gone off for 25 years.
Whoa.
25 years, no shark alarm.
Where are they?
But the shark alarms in other beaches went off all the time, but not this beach. And then Anna and I went in the water. I swear to God, went in the water, and not even 1 minute passed, and
No way.
and Anna said, "What's that?" And I said, "Shark alarm." So it's really funny how you attract
Dreams come true.
what you attract your fear. Yes, the dream.
Again.
Yes, she was attracting that shark towards her.
So
to come and eat her.
you see, you're very connected to your dreams.
Yes.
But what's interesting is that in those dreams with sharks, I was eaten alive until dead. So people say, "Oh, you can't die in your dreams." It's like, actually, I did.
Yeah. No way.
And what happened
Oh, this
after
personal.
this,
Know it.
after this shark alarm, and we went to an aquarium and started hanging out with the sharks, I started to consciously change my shark dreams. So as soon as the sharks started coming in, because I'm in water a lot in my dreams, and I would reach out to the shark and it would swim away, you know. Or one time I grabbed a hold of its dorsal fin and went for a crazy shark ride, and then we started seeing real video footage of this woman who the sharks would come to, and she'd reach into their mouth and pull the hooks out, like the human fishing hooks that are hurting their mouth. And the other sharks would bring their shark friends that were hurt.
Yeah.
And this helped change it. But I started changing my relationship with sharks in the dream.
Yeah,
And now I don't have that terror anymore. It doesn't come up.
So we can go to Australian beaches, most beautiful beaches in the world, Australia. There's 11,000 beaches, and we're not afraid. We're not afraid to. We know that the shark's there. That's their home. So, but we're not going to be afraid to swim.
But it's true that the sharks are very clever. I saw a video that sharks are helping turtles.
I saw a video.
You saw
of
that,
too,
right?
yes.
That
They
bring the
took a
turtle, to the
human.
boat.
Oh, that was
And it was like, no way.
because he had that cord wrapped around his neck and the
Exactly.
shark couldn't do
Exactly. And
anything.
it was, I was thinking, no, he was eating.
Yes,
No,
yes.
he was helping.
Yes.
And
They're very smart, and they've lived a lot longer than humans. I think
Yes.
it's 200 million years the sharks have been around.
Yeah.
So for
And there are
me,
sharks
I
that
had
live-
to change my terror. Like, this means death to me. Sharks mean death. Going in the ocean means death.
Yeah.
And so I had to change that, but I had to change it in the dream in order to change it going into the beaches.
Cross your fears.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, I mean, one of the principles that we teach is to track, stalk your fear, take it back to where the origin is, and that's where the healing needs to happen.
Exactly.
Why did you tell Forrest to the yoga that you created?
Why is it called that?
Forrest. Yeah.
Because that's my name.
But not for.
Not her birth name,
Forrest is.
but you've changed. You've added tiger.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
When I found my birth certificate that my parents had put away somewhere, and I didn't know it was mine because it said Felicia Forrest. And I thought, I wonder if we had a sister that died. Who's Felicia? And then there was another document that said Felicia Forrest, and it was crossed out by hand and written in by hand Anna. And it's like, what? So I had to confront my parents about that, and that was a whole family history problem.
And Anna was correct to change her name because I'm not sure if you're aware, the numerology of a person's name represents their destiny. So you have the vowels in the name.
You change the name.
Have the consonants in the name. You add up the vowels and you get a soul destination. You add up the consonants, you get a physical reality destination. And then when you add the two together, the vowels and consonants, you get a life destiny number. Now, anyone who does numerology, and everyone in Hollywood changes their name, everyone, not one, everyone. So even
According to this.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Marilyn Monroe was not Marilyn Monroe. Bob Dylan is not Bob Dylan. You know what I'm saying? Lady Gaga
You change
Steffi.
physically your spiritual
Yeah, that's what
travel,
that's
right?
why I was asking back because spiritually, sometimes when you get initiated, you get a spiritual
Another name.
Absolutely.
And
Same as in the medicine ways. Like if someone went through a life-changing experience, they would have a name that would honor and contain that.
So this is what music stars and Hollywood stars do. They employ numerologists to explore, because numbers are the science of the universe. Mathematics, music is the universe. Universe, one song. That's what universe means, and it's all numbers. And Pythagoras discovered this 2,500 years ago. So it also happened with me. Once I arrived in Australia, they changed my name to Joe Anthony Calaco. And I thought, that's not my name. My birth certificate is Jose Antonio Calaco. And then
In Spanish?
my psychic, Argentine.
Argentina.
But Argentine is Spanish-speaking country. Yes, I am. So,
You're Argentinian.
yes.
Oh my God, me too.
All right, so...
But you don't speak Spanish.
No, I speak Italian because both mother and father were Italians from Calabria. But now I'm Australian, Aboriginal, and I just got my green card. I'm American as well.
Wow.
Man of the world.
So, yeah, so this is a very important thing to change the name. And for Anna was a miserable wretch when she went by this name. A numerologist told her exactly what to do. And I don't care if people believe it or not.
But it happened, right?
I changed it.
It like, don't care what, but look, this is the
Here's
reality.
result. Here's the results. The result. All right?
I had to work for these results too. But they're like this woman said,
The name was like the mission, no?
the name was part of it. This woman said, your name adds up to cataclysms, disasters.
yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah. Yep, I'm quite comfortable in cataclysms and disasters. That's my life. And she said, you need to change your name. And it's like, well, Anna Forrest is my professional name. And I didn't want to like drop all of the years I put into that work, but I changed the spelling of my first name because I like the Spanish spelling more, A-N-A, and
nice.
instead of A-N-N-A. And then I added in my medicine animal, which is tiger, and it changed it. It changed it.
You can't change your birth date. Your birth date gives you one destiny. However, your name gives you two destinies. The destiny of the vowels, A-E-I-O-U, and then the destiny of the consonants, S-P-T, all that stuff. But you can't change your birth date, but you can change your name. Look into it. It's not everything, but it is a big part. Elton John was called Reginald Dwight. And Reginald Dwight was never going to be a superstar, but Elton John was going to be a superstar.
Nice change.
Lady Gaga's name was Stephanie Germanotta. Stephanie Germanotta is not a star, but Lady Gaga, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't want to stop, in fact, to talk.
How long have we been going? It's
2 hours.
2 hours.
So,
Such a compelling, interesting conversations we're
It's
having.
natural. It's a natural
and it's
conversation.
amazing. We are.
Yeah, we got to go too. We got to go.
Yeah, it's like.
We say a goodbye and we say a goodbye.
See
because you're
it
gonna
in
need
your
a
dreams,
goodbye.
right? So I wrote a lot about this conversation, what I learned.
Yeah.
And
I'll
what I love it is when you say life is an illusion, love is a dream.
Yes, life is the illusion.
Love
is the
that's-
dream. Love is ultimately where we come from. The universe is, before there was duality, there was only love. There was only love. But there needed to be duality, light and dark, for us to experience something. And this is what we're experiencing now: sorrow, joy, happiness. But the ultimate aim is back to love. That's the love. That's back to love, back to non-duality. While there's duality, there'll always be misery. And this is the Aboriginal dreaming. This is just what we're looking at here is actually an illusion. But have fun while,
The duality makes us want to go more to the unity.
Yes, back to
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly. Wow, it was a tremendous, big pleasure to meet you in my life because I was very emotional in the early beginning when she started talking, and I don't know how to say. You were talking from your spirits,
Only.
and you are calling them.
Yeah.
It's like you are the call of her.
Yes.
So it's, I guess, when you did this ceremony,
Yeah.
you were making a call,
Very much so.
right?
And a prayer.
Exactly.
But I was also enlisting the big powers to help because I had to find Jose and I didn't know where he was on the planet. So it's pretty miraculous that we came together.
And she called it twin flame. I don't think anyone in Spain,
They said
they
the
know what a
same to
twin
my
flame is.
girlfriend and me.
A twin flame,
Yeah.
not soulmates. With soulmates, you can have 6 or 7 different soulmates. It can be your mother, your father, your friend, your lover. But twin flame, just one.
Is that they
Just
came
one.
from the same energy or something
Yes.
like that, right?
It's the same
Yeah,
energy
they told me to
split
my
into 2.
partner too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you found your twin flame.
Yes, with my partner.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was until one podcast. So I want to thank you a lot this time with us. A lot. Thank you to Jordi.
Thank you, Jordi.
I'm becoming more spiritual in very fast forward way because it's like crazy. I said to everybody there will be a longevity podcast, and now it's mine spiritual podcast, awakening podcast.
Yes.
And I'm so glad to have this conversation and learning from your spirits.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
It was our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
If somebody's interested to know more from them.
Oh yes, forest.yoga.
Exactly.
Forest.yoga. You will be impressed.
They're traveling all around the world, so you can have them.
Yeah, we have a teacher training in Bali in September, October, if you want to come and join us. And we're back in Europe for advanced teacher training in Vienna next April.
It's amazing how you move around the world all your life. It's impressive.
How many days is going to be Vienna?
9 days
9 days of
9 days in Vienna.
immersion in yoga.
and
learning
25
forest
days in
yoga.
Bali.
Wow,
Yeah.
20, I want to be that.
Yes, come.
Come along.
When?
September, October.
September, October. Look, forest.yoga has all the answers.
I have a couple things to say to the people that are listening. One is breathe like a tiger. Very deep. Use your whole rib cage. 2, stop poisoning yourself on all levels. 3, begin to quest for your purpose in being alive. 4, practice forest yoga. Because it is the best gift that we have to give to the world. And,
And
we
I'm-
want you to have it.
Okay, so now I've got to get another word in as well. I say everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know the analogy, forest yoga is something it will reading in your life. I mean, because shamanic yoga, forest yoga is like playing with the words.
Yes, but I also, our home in the USA is in the forest. It's in the wilderness because that's where I am very happy. When I'm teaching, doing yoga, and in the wilderness.
Yes.
And I need both. I need to go to the people and I need to go to the animals and the trees and commune with the trees and the stars and the lightning and the thunder and the rain.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
Arrivederci. Bene.